on your website, and I want to quote this so I don't get it wrong.
Yeah.
It says that your company helps B2B software companies speak the language of value, which I thought was very poetic and nicely put. Can you explain kind of what that means and just tell everybody a little bit more about your business, just to give people context that are watching?
Yeah. So our new tagline is stop talking features, start discovering value.
Okay.
And that is really a shift in thinking, especially for tech founders who build cool product. And they can't wait to tell you about their product and all the bells and whistles and features and functions. But if I'm the customer, I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about what are the business outcomes that this solution is going to drive for me. And if you think about a salesperson who has to understand what 15, 20 different products and modules are doing, how they translate to a wide range of customer needs and priorities across industries and personas and maturities and sizes, as a salesperson, how am I going to create that value map of here's what the product does for this unique customer? And that's where the Kovama platform comes in.
Okay. But you originally didn't start as a platform, did you? You kind of built it as a consulting
That's
company?
right.
And then
That's right.
Was it MG Pricing?
That's right.
Yeah. And then you pivoted. I'm not sure if you had another name in between, but then and now it's the platform. Why did you do the pivot out of interest? Why did you go from being like a service company to a tech product?
Yeah, so we were helping companies with their pricing.
Yeah.
And we would, as typical management consultancies, run workshops, get data, layer on external indices, benchmarks, and here's what your pricing and packaging lineup should look like.
Sure.
But what we realized more and more that much bigger problem than setting price was actually getting that price.
Okay.
So how do you enable salespeople to go out and communicate the value in the right way so that you can get the price that you deserve?
Okay.
And this problem became a bigger problem with SaaS and with the need for a recurring revenue model and a subscription that renews every year. So we started helping these same companies as consultants come up with the right value propositions that were unique to the different customer types. And we solved the same set of problems over and over as a consultancy till one day we were like, hey, is there a product angle here?
Yeah.
And the repeatability and the size of the problem and how fast the problem was growing, we jumped in and built tech a couple of years ago.
Okay. When you say a couple of years ago, how long have you had the company for?
So the consultancy started in 2017 and we wrote our first lines of code in 2021.
Okay, cool. So you've been on the founder journey for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I'm about a year in myself.
Okay.
A lot of people watching, they've started companies, they're in the early stages, whether they're bootstrapping like I did or they've raised cash or whatever. What advice would you give to those people, or what advice would you give to yourself, like speaking to you a few weeks into your venture? What insights would you share, like that you've learned over the past couple of years?
Wow.
Easy question to get us going.
Yeah. Well, lots of directions to take this. But someone described me as an accidental entrepreneur.
Okay.
So there was never I want to be the CEO of a tech platform company one day, and that's what I'm going to go and do and learn how to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
It came more from you're living and breathing this problem day in and day out. You're recognizing it's a new problem. It's a growing problem. You're uniquely positioned to solve this problem.
Sure. Yeah.
And that was the impetus for why we built this business.
Okay.
We took a fair amount of time to validate the need, the willingness to pay, the market appetite, before we went out and raised venture capital funding.
Yeah.
So we bootstrapped a long way ourselves.
Yeah.
We were using our consulting revenue business to fund the development of the product. And it was only when we started seeing real traction and getting customers who were signing up to subscription agreements, we said, okay, this is the time to go all in.
Okay.
So it was perhaps more deliberate and cautious than how a lot of other venture-backed or investor-backed companies start. In terms of lessons and advice, I think doing it alone is really hard. So finding the right co-founder, the right someone who really becomes like a spouse, a life partner with you, finding that individual early. In my case, Alex, my co-founder, and I, we had worked together for 10 years before this, so there were no surprises.
Yeah.
But it's not just on the founder side, it's also on the personal side. And my wife had to be fully bought into this. What was interesting was the push was often coming from her.
Sure.
And it was, hey, we're both in corporate jobs, corporate lives, predictable income stream, mortgage, kids, schools, all of that. Why change that? It's pretty happy. And there was a moment where she, who is also from software and she knows our space and industry quite well, and she said, just get the balls and do it.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Yeah.
And that was the conviction that helped getting started on this journey as well.
Yeah, the hardest part is just starting most of the time, and then it's just about momentum and keeping the ball rolling and getting it in the right location. Right?
Which is also hard, right? With
Oh, yeah.
the momentum part.
Yeah.
I remember we got our first customer.
Yeah.
We were delighted.
Yeah.
And we said, right, let's build a pipeline. Let's go out and get more customers. And the time it took from customer number 1 to customer number 2 was 9 months.
Yeah.
It's like, well, hang on, did we get this all wrong? But then you start seeing, and that going from customer number 4 to 7 to 8 to 10, that started happening much faster. And that's when momentum started building. But there were definitely worries and concerns when that initial momentum wasn't building.